Okay, I think we still have half of the students waiting to be joining, so we will begin 2 minutes later. Okay. Good afternoon. So yeah, so there's a student asking about the quiz. Yeah, for intra and inter-domain routing, we don't have quiz. Okay. Uh, yeah. So yeah, we will have a quiz following that. But you need to understand those concepts, right? So because we probably will test you understanding in the final. Okay, so for example, what is a BGP protocol, whether it's intra-domain or inter-domain itself. Okay, so you need to have some concepts. Okay, and let's begin. So last time we were talking about this slide and BGP protocol, and basically it's a protocol that basically how AS talks to each other. Okay, each AS has a unique AS number. If you remember the concept of AS number, okay. So we will quickly review these concepts. Okay, what we had last time, just to help you, recall all those key concepts. Okay, so this is called inter-domain routing because it's between the AS. They are all speaking the same language, which is the BGP protocol. Okay, BGP protocol. The key concept is the policy. Okay, so basically, these how you choose a path is driven by the economics. Okay, it's not driven by the performance, how fast you can send, right? And so here, last time we have an illustration of the concept, right? So if you have two service providers who want to serve their customers, right? And what you can do is you can let these service provider peering with each other, so they don't pay each other, right? But if peer one and peer three are not directly peer, right? So there's no motivation, no incentive for peer to forward traffic between peer one and peer three. Okay, so there must be some other service, right, on the top. Okay, that goes to the other customer. Even if you go through peer two, it's faster. Okay? Unless you are paying peer two for that traffic. Okay? And the peering concept is quite common, right? Because different service providers may be paired with each other so that they can serve each other, right? With it's like an exchange of the service without paying each other. Okay? And so, but there's a actually it's a pairing world, right? So it's not so pure that everyone just pair with each other. Okay, so there's sometimes contention there, which you should be aware of. Okay, and we know that there are two types of BGP neighbors, right? So there's a eBGP and iBGP. Okay, right. So the reason we need also iBGP, right, is because if you just look at OSPF kind of intra-domain routing, okay, it doesn't contain those additional information, right? So for example, the policy, right? Okay, how you want to route through where, okay? And for the BGP protocol, last time we discussed that this is a path vector protocol. Okay, it's very similar to the distance vector protocol of RIP, but it's a path vector protocol, which means you contain the entire AS path, right? The path is AS path, okay? So given this information, so you need to be aware that, you know, it's not the shortest path or shortest delay. It's really you pass the least number of AS, right? Maybe in a particular AS, you travel for many hops. That's possible, okay? And there's also a hot potato routing concept, right? So basically, you don't want to hold the packet for long, okay? You will just throw it away through this path, okay? Right. So even this path is optimal, but you hold the packet for twice the time, okay? Which is, you know, for you, you have additional workload as AS. So it will route through the closest, you know, border gateway router, and even though it will take longer to reach the destination. So this is called hot potato routing. And another thing that you need to be aware is that you don't really forward all the AS passes to the other people, right? For example, for those, maybe let's say peer 2 is pairing with 1 and 3, but peer 2 should not forward peer 2's, peer 1's information to peer 3, right? Because it's peer 2 that pair with peer 3. Okay? Peer 1's information should stop at peer 2, not go to peer 3. Okay? And so then we actually stopped here. We talked about, like, if you look at the previous intra-domain routing protocols, which are like RIP, OSPF. Right? So RIP is a distance vector, okay? And OSPF is called the link state. These terminology to know. Okay, maybe in the final exam, we will have some question like this, ask you this question, okay? And also we have the BGP protocols, which is for inter-domain, right, between AS routing, okay? So intra-domain routing are all finding the shortest path, right? You want to really send stuff within your institution really fast, okay? The fastest way to send, right? Because you already paid for those routers device. There's no other concern, okay? But for BGP, what's the problem here, right? So it's not a shortest path. It's called a stable path, right? So we have the stable path problem. So basically, we wanted the path to not fluctuate, but keep stable, right? You don't route this time, let's say 520. This time if you go 5210, right? Next time you go 52430. That's not good. Okay, you hopefully it will keep this path. Okay, it's stable. Right? The reason that we want this is because, for example, if you have a packet, you send the packet 1 and then send the packet 2, right? And what if packet 1 goes this direction, right, all the way here, which is really slow, but packet 2 will go this direction really fast, okay, right? If packet 2 goes this direction, then what it means is that packet 2 will arrive at 0 first, right? It's out of order. Saying if you are running some TCP protocol, you need to buffer, right, until you receive packet 1, okay? So this is undesirable and it causes a lot of performance issues. So we really wanted the path to be stable, right? You keep routing along the same path from source to destination. So that's the concept. And so we call this problem stable passes problem, right? Because it's not just the one path that's stable. All the paths between pairs are stable. Okay? And the shorthand notation is called SPP. Okay, we'll use SPP from now on. So it's the S means stable, not shortest. Okay, SPP. And here the problem, the routers are still nodes, right? So it's still modeled as a graph problem, right? So let's assume there's a node 0, we call it the origin. Okay? And then let's consider how we can send stuff to this 0 origin. Okay? All right. So there are, so this is our stable path problem. Okay? Remember, we have the policy. Right? So for example, maybe you prefer 2.0, it's really fast, right? But maybe, this link is expensive, or 0 doesn't really want to serve 2, but 0 serves 1. So for some reason, actually, 2 prefers 2.1.0. Okay? Or maybe it hides 2's identity for various reasons, right? There's a policy, okay? Right? And so we will list the first priority path as 2.1.0, okay? The second priority will be 2.0, right? So if I can at any point switch from 2.0 to 2.1.0, I will do that. So this is what it means, okay? There's a priority list here for everyone. So here you will see the problem, why there's a so-called divergence problem. So it's the same criteria, like in shortest path. Finally, everyone will converge to a shortest path tree, right? If you know Dijkstra's algorithm, okay? But if you look at if everyone is following a different objective when they decide the policy, right? And you cannot see through other people's policies, right? And then maybe you are optimizing different kind of objectives, okay? And then this will cause divergence and frustration. We will see that later, okay? Right. So here, there's a set of primitive paths from each node to the origin, and each step contains a null path. Okay, so null path means here we have a null, okay, which means hey, now I cannot send to 0. Okay, I have no way to send to 0. Right? It's an empty path. Okay, and it's like you give up at the end, right? So other paths are more viable paths. Okay? It's possible because maybe you are unreachable from outside. Then there's null path. Okay. And keep in mind, the set of passes are ranked. Okay, the set of passes are ranked. This is preferred over this, and then null pass. Okay, null pass is always the least preferred because it's basically give up the router. Okay, if you have any question during the process, feel free to ask me. Okay. So here, let's consider a possible solution, right? A solution to this. Right? So a solution is an assignment of the permitted passes to each node, right? So which means we will pick a particular path here, okay? Among the list of passes, we'll pick a particular path. This is called assignment of one of the paths to the node, okay? Well, you will try to choose the one at the top, of course, because that's a preferred particular policy, okay? And but there are some requirements, right? So node U, okay, path is either null, which means you cannot reach the other guy, okay? Or you have a UWP, right? W is your next neighbor, 25210, right? 52, okay? So it's UW. 5 is U, W is 2, okay? And then from W, you have another path to 0, right? For example, you can go 10, okay? Right? So this is the P from W. You have another path, okay? So that's the concept we're talking about. And each node assigns the highest ranked path that is consistent with the neighbor. So what does this mean? Right. So let's assume that, for example, you want this path, you want to choose this one, for example, right? But what if, let's say, 2 choose the preferred one, 210, okay? 5 also choose this, right? So 5210. Okay. So that's fine. But then when 4 communicates with 2, 4 finds, hey, I cannot take this path because 420 is not taken by 2. 2's router will route to this link, not this link. Okay. In that case, this is not viable. Then the router 4 will try the second path. Okay, it is clear. So this is saying that we need to be consistent with the neighbors, right? For example, if you use UW, but W already picked a particular path, right? Your path should be consistent with that path. Okay. In this case, my path is 20, but the neighbor path is 210. It's inconsistent. Right? The neighbor is not taking this path. Right? So that's what we mean by consistent. Is this okay? Right. So if you have no question, let's continue. Right. So here's the example animation. Right. For example, here we only have one rule, so we will always pick 30, and then it's a turn of 1 to pick. Right. 1 prefers 130. Yeah, 3 is taking 3, 0. So I can fix this, right? And then we will go to 2. 2 prefer 2, 1, 0. Okay, 2, 1, 0. Okay, but it finds no, 1 will not directly send to 0. 1 will send to 3 and 0. One way is you can take a 2, 1, 3, 0. But 2, 1, 3, 0 is not on my list. Okay, my list only have 2, 1, 0 or 2, 0. So it has to pick 2, 0. Okay, and then it's node 4's turn. Node 4 has first one 4, 2, 0. Yeah, 2, 0 is already there, so I can take 4, 2, 0. Right. Finally, it's 5. 5 will take, this is 2, 5, 2, 1, 0. Right. So before we consider 5, take a note that the solutions need not use the shortest path. Right. So for example, here 1, 0 is shorter, but I will take 1, 3, 0. Okay. And they don't even need to form a spanning tree. It's really quite satisfying. For 5, 2, 1, 0, it's unreachable. So you have to take the null path because we look at 5, 2, 1, 0, but 2 is directly taking 2, 0, this path. Okay, so 5 has no 5, 2, 0 here. Okay? In that case, 5 is unreachable. Right? Any question about this slide? Maybe if I really hate to use 2, 0, this link, for example, for some security reasons. Okay. So let's look at a simple stable passes problem. Let me see the chat. Okay. Yeah. Okay, let's take a look at the example and let's assume, hey, node 1 selects first and selects the first one, which is preferred, so it's 1, 0. Then it's node 2's turn, 2, 0. Okay, and then it's 3's turn, 3, 0. Okay, then it's 4's turn, 4 prefers, 4, 3, 0. Okay, right. So in that case, it's actually quite stable and no one will change anymore. Everyone picks the best one as the first, the top list, okay? Top one. Okay? This is a quite nice example. A good gadget, we call it. Okay? And then let's think about somehow 4 flips the preference, right? 4, 3, 0 is above 4, 2, 0. Right? Now somehow 4 really prefers 4, 2, 0, right? Really hates 3 for some reason, listed as a second option. Okay. Let's think about what will happen. Okay. Firstly, 420 is workable, right? 20 is already taken, so we can take it. Okay. So you can see again, this example is still stable. Also. You can see still take the first preferred route. So each node gets its preferred route, and this is totally stable topology. And this scenario is good. Okay. Now let's look at some more peculiar scenario. Right? You don't like 1, 0, you like 1, 3, 0 first. Similar here, you like a 2, 1, 0 first. Okay? Like something like here. Okay? Now, given this preference list of everybody, what will happen? Right? Will it still behave so nicely? So let's go. Okay. 3, for example, 3, 0, this is the only list, it will take it. Right? Then 1 will take 1, 3, 0. Right? Because 1, 3, 0 already there, then I should take 1, 3, 0. It doesn't break 3, 0, and it's preferred over 1, 0. Okay. And then if you look at 4, 4 will pick 4, 3, 0, which is nice, right? Because 3, 0 is already there, so I will take 4, 3, 0. Then let's look at 2. 2 want to pick 2, 1, 0, right? 2, 1, 0. But unfortunately, 1 is not taking 1, 0. 1 is taking 1, 3, 0. Okay. So this is not viable. So 2 will directly use 2, 0. Okay. So you can see in this example now 2 is not happy, right? So it takes the secondary, not the best plan you want. Okay. So not every node gets a preferred route, and the topology is still stable. So in this case, no, you compromise your preference, but now everything becomes stable. Okay, there's only one stable configuration. Anyway, okay, so no matter how the route, so we can prove if you choose other things first, right? It will still be stabilized in this scenario. Okay, this we can prove. And so, however, the stable path problem can have many different solutions. Okay, let's think about this co-example. Right, so for example, 1 wants to go 0 through 1, 2, 0 instead of 1, 0. But 2 again want to go to 0 through 2, 1, 0, right? Instead of 2, 0. So you immediately see something that's conflicting, right? So for example, if you first let 2 choose 2-0 pass, then one will be happy, 1-2-0. Okay, right. This is because maybe by that time you are choosing 2-1-0, you find hey 1-0 is not activated yet, right? So you have to choose 2-0, and then this thing will be formed. Okay, so this one actually 1 is happy, 2 is not happy. Right? Another possibility is that 1-0 is first chosen because 1-2-0 is not active yet. Okay, and if 1 chooses the second route, then 2 will be happy because 2 wants to really do 2-1-0. Okay, so you can see both solutions are stable, right? And so, but I can have multiple solutions. Okay, but the cost is kind of the same. Actually. Okay, so that can be really bad gadgets, which means it will not be stable anymore. Right. So here's an example animation that let's see. Okay. So again, each one has some preference list, which is really weird. Remember here previously we have 3-0, but 3 may be really strange, right? We prefer 3-4-2-0. This wrong. This this triangular shape, right? Instead of directly to 2-0. So, okay. And let's think about this example and see how things is happening. Firstly, 2 will choose 2-0, right? Because 2-1-0 is not activated yet. Okay, you have to choose 2-0. And then after that, let 4 choose. Let 4 see, hey, 2-0 there. I really prefer 4-2-0. I will take this path. Okay. After that, we have 3-4-2-0. Okay. This is really nice. That's 3-4-2-0 already there. Okay, I will pick this one. Now it's 1's turn, right? And let's take a look. 1 cannot pick 1-3-0, right? 1-3-0, 3-0 is not activated. 1-3, it will go to 4-2-0, right? But 1-3-4-2-0 is not in 1's list. So 1 has to pick the second one, which is 1-0. Okay? But it seems that now things are fine, right? But actually, keep in mind, this is a local decision, right? Now 2-0 will probe, right? To find, hey, 1-0 is not viable, okay? Now 2 will flip to the preferred path, okay? We'll go here. So let's see what will happen next. Now I just thought, hey, now the preferred path is viable, so 2 will flip to 2-1-0, okay? In that case, 4-2-0 is no longer viable because 2-0 is now not selected, okay? So 4 will have to, again, 4 cannot take, sorry, I played too fast, okay? 4 can also not take 4-3-0, 3-0 is not active, right? So in that case, 4 is temporarily unreachable, okay? And then let's look at 3. Once 3 updates, 3 cannot take a 3-4-2-0, right? These are all kind of not activated, okay? So 3 can take the second in the list, which is 3-0, okay? But at that time, 1 similarly will take 1-3-0 because 3-0 is now on, and 1-3-0 is the preferred path over 1-0. So 1 will flip to the first priority, okay? And if that happens, 2-1-0 is broken, right? 1-0 is no longer good. So 2 again choose 2-0, right? And after 2-0 is chosen, now we know that yeah, previously because 3-0 is established, 4-3-0 is connected. Okay, but now because 2-0 is also connected, right? So and 4-2-0 is preferred, it will go to 4-2-0. Okay, right. So this is this is a loop. Why? Because if you come back to C3, 3 has 3-0, but it's not preferred, right? So preferred one is 3-4-2-0, and the 4-2-0 is established. So 3 will again go here, okay? And after that, 1-3-0, this 3-0 is no longer active, so 1 will flip to 1-0, okay? And this is just one round of, operation, and we can continue. This process can continue, right? So because, so that was only one round of oscillation, but this can keep going indefinitely, right? So for example, these 2 are again not preferred, right? So these are the first priority, these 2 are second priority, okay? And so 2-0 will again flip to here, right? So this process will continue because 2-0 preferred and 1-0 is here. We will use this instead of this, and the whole process will repeat, okay? And you can show this. So you can go on this forever, and so it's not stable. So this is what we want to say. Is this okay? I hope this example makes sense to you guys. Which is the key problem is that everyone has a list that is, you know, kind of, so maybe based on different criteria, right? And the objectives are totally different, and you are optimizing different objectives. You cannot find consistency, right? So that kind divergence can happen. So this will keep going, and you can show that this basically after loop, you know that it's just a one period, right? So it can go indefinitely, and so the problem stems from two reasons. Okay, the first is that everyone makes local decisions. Right? If I see, hey, my more preferred path can work out, then I will just choose that. It doesn't notice that if I choose that path, it will cause oscillation. Okay, the whole stableness will be damaging. Right. So, but anyway, so for a router, it will just choose for an AS. Right? It's not just a router. Okay? For an AS, it just choose the policy that it prefers. Okay. And again, another reason is the ability for one node to improve its path selection. Because if I see, hey, 210 improved, I prefer, I will just take this. Okay? So if you are doing local decision, only optimize yourself, then everyone will be optimized themselves, but it can break the path, forwarding path of previous established stable passes. Okay, and then the fluctuation, right, the oscillation can happen. Any questions so far? I hope this concept is clear. So SPP, the stable path problem, explains the BGP divergence region, okay, right, in real. So we call this, this is called a live lock. It's kind of lock, like deadlock, but it's not truly locked. It's moving. Deadlock means it's totally locked. You're not moving. It's moving, but it's kind of like lock. You're in a loop, okay? You're not getting out, right? And this is called a protocol oscillation, right? Unfortunately, BGP is not guaranteed to converge, okay? Right. There are certain cases it must diverge, like our previous sample, and there are certain cases it must converge. And there are also something in the middle, right? So which means depending on how your router choice is, in some scenarios, right, you will converge. In other scenarios, you may diverge, right? It really depends. Okay. All right, so we also need a so-called backup policy for the BGP, right? For example, we need for example, if you only have 40 here, right, then you're in trouble because, if your link is down, you have nothing else to choose. Then you are basically disconnected. Okay? So if we have, let's say, 420, then it's fine. Right? So I can go here and then go here. Okay, this is why we do need a backup policy. So BGP is not robust; it will not recover from link failures. Right? So you have some backup policies, so it can last. And BGP is also precarious. So what it means is that if let's say 10, it just takes 10 for example here, right? So for example, if you look at here, assume one choose first, right? It will choose 10 because 120 was not established by that. Okay, and then if you then two choose, right? Two will choose 210 because 10 is established and it's preferred. Okay, if that happens, all these will choose the first path, if you can see, right? So because all of them ends with 10. Okay, so this is really nice, because after going through 3 and go to 1, everyone go to 3. Okay, and then I go to 0. So this path is established. Okay, but what if you remember, we can have another case, right? Two different solutions. Right? What if we let 2 to choose first? Right? So 2 will choose 20. So 2 will choose 20 first. Okay, and after choosing 20. Because 10 is not established, right? And the 1 find, hey, 120 established, I will take this. So what will happen here? So this will cause this part to be not stable, right? So for example, now 3 have to pick this one, 3 1 2 0, okay? Because it's 1 2 0 that is active, right? And then let's think about 4. 4 cannot take a 1, 0, right? Because 1, 0 is not active. Okay. And 4 can take a 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 3, 1, 2, 0. Okay, so 4 will choose this one. Okay, 4, 5. Oh no, by that time it cannot choose this because 5, 3 is not established. Right, 4 may choose this one. 4, 3. Okay, and then let's 5 choose. 5 again cannot take 1, 0. It's not accurate. Okay, so 5 will 6 is also not touched. So 5 will choose 5, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and similar here, it will choose. But this time, you know, this guy prefers what? This guy prefers 4, 3, 1, 2, 0. Right. So yeah, 4, 3, 1, 2, 0. It's there. Right? So I will choose this one instead of this one. Okay. So which means 6 will not directly go to 3. No. Okay. 6 will go to 4. Right. I hope it's not getting out of control. So all right. So if that happens, right, so we will choose this second one, right? And again, for example, yeah. So basically, you know, this becomes no longer stable. It will fluctuate. Okay, will oscillate. You can show that. Okay, so basically, it will oscillate between these four. Right. So now that 6 chooses and let me see, and 5, 4, because 4, 3, 0 is established. Right? So this is 5 will go to 6, and let me see, 4 will go to 5. Yeah, so now originally this is the path you're talking. 4, remember, if you choose first, it will go this path and go back. Right? So basically 4 is choosing this initially. Now because you're 5, this path is established. Okay, so 4 will flip to this. Okay, will go to here. And you can show that this will oscillate. Okay, I will just skip this temporarily. You can show that it will oscillate. Okay. So this is basically one path will be stable, another path it will oscillate. And so can BGP be fixed? Unfortunately, this is very difficult. It's an NP complete problem. We cannot find a way to fix that. Okay. The possible solutions, of course, you can do a dynamic approach, which means you extend BGP protocol. Right? You want to dynamically detect and suppress such oscillations. Right? But that could be very difficult. Another is a static approach. Like you kind of statically handle that and then hard code it. So it's like a automated analysis of the routing policies, but this again is very hard. Okay, this could be very hard, and because of problem NP count. Right? So you can do so-called inter-AS coordination. This is often our current solution. Right? So you can send a message or like a good connection and periodically have a timer working with the other AS that you're connected with to do some coordination to try to avoid oscillation, or at least oscillate really not so frequently. Okay. So these approaches are complementary, which means you can just not using them. That's totally fine. Right? So which means BGP protocol will not be quite stable. So that's why, you know, there's a desire for the next generation routing. Right? So the motivation is really, you know, we want router reliability and the fault tolerance on small time scales, right? Like minutes, is a you know, a priority now. Okay, previously it was not a priority, but now it's a priority because, you know, you don't want to oscillate a lot just in 1 minute. Okay, that causes a lot of trouble, especially if you think about, you know, you are doing video games, computer games. Okay, and you know, suddenly the packets are taking different routes within a short period of time. Okay, this will you know, this will cause trouble. So we do need such stability and end-to-end network reliability. And but how well is current internet routing infrastructure correlating those faults, like those issues? The answer is actually it's not so good. But the conventional wisdom, thinking that it's actually working out. Okay, the internet routing is robust and fault. Right? So this is so-called conventional wisdom. We will show that it's actually some people do experiments to test it and find this is not really the case. Okay, so it thinks that internet should the routing should support path rerouting, which means if your original path is no longer viable, right? So some router gets disconnected, or some congestion happens, you keep dropping packets, you can take another route, right? So this is called a path restoration, right? And like if you have a path like this, which is previously faster, but now you have another path, okay? But this is down, I will take this path, right? Like a backup path, right? I hope this flipping process can just be seconds, okay? But in reality, it could be many minutes, okay? Even tens of minutes. We'll see that. And the conventional wisdom thinks that BGP have good convergence properties, right? And it's not having this kind of looping and bouncing problem RIP. If you remember RIP, we have the counting to infinity problem. Right? So bad news travels slow. Actually, BGP again have this problem. We'll show you. Okay, because this is the path factor protocol, right? So if you have a distance factor protocol, have some problem. Path factor will have even more problem. Okay, it's a relaxed version, right? It's not even the shortest path. And so the internet fell over. So fell over means, for example, if this path is down, I will fall over to the other path. Right? So this will improve. Right? We hope that this will improve with faster router and fast links. Right? For example, if you have a router that is faster or link is faster, you will flip to the other route really fast. Okay. You see other paths really fast. Okay? And also, conventional wisdom thinks that more redundant connections, right, is always improving for total. Right? For example, this is called a multi-home. Right? You are connected to two different service providers, right? And if this is down, I can take this. This is called multi-home. Okay? And so this conventional wisdom thinks this is gonna work out well. Right? So, but actually, this costs even more unstable. We will see that shortly. And I think we should take attendance for now. Okay. Let me. All right, so today I will call out more names from 334, okay, instead of 534. Okay. Let's do this. So we will call out every 4 names. We'll call one. Okay. Naisak, are you here? Naisak, Bahat, Naisak, Bahat. No. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Ryan Chancellor.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Michael, are you here?
I'm here.
Okay.
Here.
Cass, are you here? Cass from Francis Chile, Skelly. Cass, are you here? No. Rachel, I think I see Rachel earlier. So.
I'm right here.
Okay, yeah, I see your pop up. Yeah, Jackson, hi. Jackson, hi. No. Jalin King, I see chat.
Jackson is here. That's what's in the chat.
Oh, Jackson Hyde is here. I said okay. Jalin King. No. Francis.
Here.
Okay. So I'll skip. Nicholas. No. Yeah,
Hey,
so
I'm pretty sure that Jalen is actually here. I'm thinking he got kicked off the Zoom call for whatever reason. So he'll probably be back in just a second. Okay.
who is here? Can
Jalen.
Jalen.
Jalen King.
I see.
Yeah. He'll be back in just a second. I think he just got kicked off the Zoom
I understand.
call.
Okay.
All right.
Let me find your name. Okay.
I'm here. I think you called my name, but my sound was off.
I see. Okay. So I usually just call 3 times. Okay, if you are not here, I will just call. Okay. Preet Patel. Okay. Miller Phillips. Miller, are you here? No. John Robertson.
Here.
Emma Smith.
Here.
Okay.
I'm here.
Got it. Rana. No. Okay, so if you are here, just let me know. I will. Yeah, this time it's a little bit more.
I think I saw Brianna inside of the Zoom call. She just didn't say it.
Okay, you mean Brenna? Yeah. Anyway, so if you still are here, just send me a message on Zoom. Okay, I will fix it.
Also, Nick said he was here earlier. Elon Musk guy.
He was here, right? So, okay. Nicholas, are you here? Nicholas?
He said he was, but I don't know what happened.
All right. So because I cannot get the answer, I have to pass. Here for this list, we will call last names. Okay. Chauncey.
I'm here.
Okay. Skylar.
I'm here.
Okay. Han Chao Li.
I'm here.
Okay. Arohan Rao.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, I think I see. Maybe some students do not have a stable internet, but for fairness, we have to take this. Right? So otherwise, it's difficult to differentiate. Oh, Nicholas is back. Okay, Lindsay, are you here? Lindsay.
Here.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm
Nicholas, I will take it back.
Hey, Brianna Sturdivant is here, by the way.
Okay, got it. Okay. Right. Okay, so let's move on. All right, so we are continuing with our BGP protocol. Okay. Let me switch to the slide. Okay, so the conventional wisdom about delayed routing convergence, right? The conventional wisdom about routing convergence is not accurate. Okay, so there has been a measurement of the BGP convergence in the internet and analysis, and show that there's actually it's a BGP protocol. The routing is very slow to converge. Okay, so this is called the delayed convergence, right? And we do need some modifications to the BGP implementation, and that will improve the convergence times. So let's see what these people find. Okay, so after a fault in the past to a multi-home site, right? If you remember, we have this guy have 2 service providers, right? There's a 1 backup, right? So assume that the major one is down, okay? Right. And these routes no longer make sense, right? Here, the customer will keep a list of routes, if you remember. And this is pass protocol, okay? But these passes no longer work out because the first link is down, okay? So how long would it take, to fail over to the second pass, right? So all these passes will go to the second, right? Including other people, right? So route, right? So this is called a routing table convergence. Right? So how we will go to here, and then this path go to the destination. Okay. So traffic will go through the backend. So we want to measure like the routing table when it will converge again, right? Because now these paths are not working out, it would change the routing table, right? And the stable end-to-end path, right? How do you find this finally becomes stable? Okay. So that's actually bad news, right? With unconstrained policy, basically, just like what we said, everyone can decide any kind of list, right? That will be a divergence. Okay, so you will never, converge. It will be oscillating forever. Okay. So this will also possibly, even if it converges, it can create a suboptimal policy. Right? So, you are not totally satisfied. Right? It's not your first priority. Okay, and and it's NP complete to find those, policies that are plotting divergence. Okay. So we do want to sound like if we have a constrained policy, then like in our OSPF, right? So then things goes much better, right? So there's a transient oscillations, but immediately it will become stable after a while. Okay, and the BGP usually will converge. Okay, but again, so this will still take a long time. Okay? So we will focus on the constrained policies, right? So so this is actually a paper doing those studies, right? It has 16 months of study of convergence situations, right? So it's more than 1 year, okay? And so they instrument the internet by inserting sort of BGP faults, right? So basically, if your BGP detects some faults, it will withdraw that path, right? And tell others, hey, this path is no longer working out. If you route through this path, you should also withdraw. Okay. So for different, different prefix, which means the destination, and also the different AS paths. Okay. So so they will inject those BGP faults. Okay. And then they will monitor the impact of the fault. Right? And this is so they will record BGP peering sessions within tier 1, tier 2 ISP. If you remember, we have tier 1, which is the bottom layer, tier 2, and there are some overlapping ones. Right? So basically, there's tier 1 and tier 2 of ISP. Okay? And so they use ICMP messages. We will see later. It's in the same level as like TCP UDP. Okay, it's a transport layer. It's mainly for control. Okay, control and management. And so they will do this active measurements. Okay, and to random websites. Okay, and then check whether the time and the path is how the path is looking like. Okay, whether it's a fell over to a better path or a stable path. Okay, and so they do detect lots of faults, right? So so here's the architecture that they do measurements, right? So they have a so-called stub AS, right? So where they start to insert BGP faults, right? And originally you are taking this path to the destination, right? They pretend to be AS, by the way. Okay, right? And then how this BGP will reach the destination. Okay, if you have this BGP faults, whether they will notify them and then say, hey, your routes should change. Okay, and so let's just quickly look at the conclusions. Right? So that's an interesting part. Okay, so there's 4 times that they measure. Right? T up is when a new route is advertised. Right? So you find a new route. T down is an old route is withdrawn. Okay, right? This is usually if you only you're single phone, right? You only have one ISP. Then if that ISP doesn't work out, you are just withdrawn. Okay, this is disconnected. This AS. Okay, and there's also T short and T long. Okay, T short means something like if you have a shorter path, right? But previously you have a long path you're taking, but you find a shorter path, right? Then you will flip over to the battery. Okay? This is like a primary path is repaired, right? Or T long means if your shorter path is down, then you flip to the longer path. So this is called T long. Okay? This is primary path. I think we only have 1 minute. we will start from this slide and continue to present some of the major results of their measurements, okay, about BGP protocol from next class. Okay, today we have lab 4 again for task, so second task, okay? And I think I will be there, it will start in 15 minutes, so I will be there by that time, okay? Okay, so that's all for today's class, and have a good weekend. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I see 3 chats. Okay, thank you. I don't see questions. Okay, in that case, I will temporarily disconnect. I will be in the lab, Zoom link shortly. Okay, I will see you then. Have a nice weekend.